Hey everyone, so trying to get something kind of funny and silly at the beginning of this video today just wasn't feasible. I've got a lot going on between trying to get this job done, be a teacher, homeschool my daughter, and just kind of get life together during this remote learning. It's really hard kind of putting these things together, and you know, I've got too many balls in the air to you know what? You guys deserve better. Hold on one second. Why not something silly? Whoa! Oh. Your tastes are a little more discerning than this. I know this. Hold on. Now we're talking. All right. Whoa. All right. I'm severely out of practice. We'll see how this goes. Whoops. One more time. All right, good enough. Let's go do some plumbing. Okay, so what I have here are all the parts to our drain assembly and our overflow. I'm going to put these together for you and just kind of show you how it goes. These two pieces right here, when I actually pull the tub out, we're probably going to have to adjust their length a little bit, but we may not. It may be standard and it fits, but this is a universal overflow and tub drain assembly. So it means we can make these adjustments, but this is still Schedule 40 pipe, and everything is copacetic with that. So to start, what I want to do, I'll show you first how it works. We've got this T here, and there is an arrow. So the arrow is going to be pointing down. And what we have is our plunger. So the plunger will be inside this here, and will move up and down, and then it drops right down in there and then stops the water. So you can see inside there, lifts up, lifts down. So that's how we're going to be stopping our water from leaving the tub. And this rod here is adjustable, so once we get it in the tub, we'll set it to the proper spot. I've already put this on, little cotter pin right here. That just holds it in place. Again, drop down in there. So next, so we can put this in like so. We have the overflow part that will actually be in the tub itself. Want to make sure those are both lined up nice at a 90. We'll glue and clean and glue both of those. Those will be solid. This part screws into the tub itself. There is a gasket. I don't know if you can see it, but it's somewhat angled or beveled. So when you put that on, that's going to match the bevel of the tub and will help hold water back. Like so. Sorry, like so. And then this part is the part that you see inside the tub. So this is behind the tub, and then this part will go on like so. But before we put that on, we want to attach our whole drain and plunge, or our plunger assembly here. So another cotter pin that goes in like so, maybe. Come on. There we go. Then I'm going to grab my pliers again. And I want to bend that in place like so, so those don't come out. Get those out of the way. Don't want them getting hung up on anything. Then what I'm going to do, slide the assembly into the drain like so. All right, and again, this This we'll do once the tub's actually in place. I'm just kind of showing you how it goes together right now. But that'll go like so, and there's your little lever, lifting up and down. We'll screw it in, that'll hold everything, and then there's a lip underneath that if you overfill the tub, it'll come into here and head down here and go into our drain. Now the drain assembly part is, you've got the small piece here, goes into our T. This part here, smooth on top, threaded inside, comes in like so. And then we've got another gasket that goes on the flat part here. The tub itself will sit on top of that, so it's making a watertight seal underneath the tub. The watertight seal that we're going to have inside the tub comes from this piece here. And on the underside of this is where we're going to put plumber's putty, right through here. And I'll show you how to do that once we install it. And then that part, line up the threads, that just screws in like so. And we tighten that down until it's nice and snug. And then there's a decorative piece that goes on top of that as well that will screw into the middle of that. And that's all there is to it. That is your tub and overflow right there with the drain assembly. All right, so I'm going to get the tub set and we'll work on that next. So the next step in the tub install is going to be actually setting the tub, or at least prepping the area for it. We started with laying out our hole, drilling that. We've got that over here. I have moved the studs to the 11-inch spacing that we needed, so that's all done. Behind me over here, I have a hole drilled for the vent stack that's going to come from the main drain in the basement and run straight through our roof about a story above me here. So there's a hole here. I've got another hole drilled at the top of the plates here, and then when we're ready, I'll make a roof penetration and we'll put the vent completely out there, and that's going to vent bathroom number 2 and bathroom number 1, the laundry room, and then, as I said, the kitchen is going to have its own vent. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the area that you're going to set your tub is level. If it's not level, it won't drain right. And if it doesn't drain right, then you get those little water spots in your tub that eventually minerals will dissolve out of it, and you get a green or a brown or a kind of a yellowish or a pinkish sort of mold stains in your tub. And you don't really want that. You want the water to drain out so the tub will dry and be prepared for the next round. So I took 4-foot level. And this is the new addition, and it was something I had helped Travis build, so I'm really happy to say that I've already checked this. It's level both this way, and you want to take it and you want to do both, you know, and take as many places as you can and make sure it's level. And it is level completely this way, and it is level completely that way. So we're good to go there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take my tub and I'm going to dry fit it in place. I showed you how to do the drain assembly already, so while it's in place, we're going to see if we can now start getting that drain assembly put together. So stay tuned for that. So I have my drain assembly dry fit. What I want to do now is go through a lesson on how to actually clean and glue these fittings so they'll be permanent. We start with a cleaner. Now, it used to be clear, but they've been tinting the cleaner a purple color. The reason it's purple is because the cleaner is a 2-part combination with the glue, which I have right here. It has to be cleaned first. You have to get a nice clean surface, and then there's a chemical reaction which actually almost melts and bonds the plastic together. So once these are glued together, it is permanent. They are never coming apart. So the reason they dyed it purple is because, I hate to say it, but there are people out there that like to cut corners. They were gluing the fittings, but they weren't cleaning them first. The purple tint allows the inspector to come through and see that each joint had been done, because a little bit will be sticking out. You don't want a ton dripping down. It makes it a little more difficult to keep it neat, but you will see a purple tint around all of these fittings once we're done doing them. Okay? So what I want to start with is my T. I'm not going to worry about these 2 parts yet. I'm just going to worry about everything that's going to be happening with this T right now. So I'm going to take these off right now. Got that. All right, so my T, there's an arrow, like I said, going down. The stopper comes down and blocks all of the water, as we just talked about. So because of that, we want to make absolute sure that we're not over gluing this, because we're going to put glue here and glue inside here. When we put that in and give it a little twist just to make sure it's spread around, we want to make sure that none of that excess glue is coming down and going to obstruct our plunger from stopping the water. So these two joints are going to be fairly difficult. So it's kind of an advanced place to show you how to clean and glue a fitting. But once you know this, this is going to be part of every single PVC connection that we make here. So when you see me putting things together, I'm not going to go through this every single time. Just know that this is how it's done every single time. Okay? So you'll notice on these parts, or on the pipe, that it has some lettering on there. Get it a little closer. Yeah, it's out of focus. All right. So what I want to do is I want to make sure there's none of this lettering left behind either. Make it nice and clean. So I take my cleaner, knock off. This is a brand new can. So I'm going to knock off a lot of the excess so it's not slopping around. Now I am sitting on the cardboard that came from the tub just to keep the floor clean. It is a subfloor, but again, I want to make sure that when I leave, there is really no trace of me other than the good work that I've done. So even though it's a subfloor, I don't want purple stains all over this, okay? And I don't want glue all over this as well. They're going to put a floor down on top of this. I don't want anything I've done to obstruct that at all. Plus, it just looks bad. So take my my little wand here, comes with it, and again, I don't know if you can see this, but I want to make sure that all that lettering is gone, and then I'm just going to move it around a couple of times. I'm only going as big as the fitting itself. As I said, I don't need to paint this whole thing. This is actually a lot more than I probably would need to do. Then I can hold it 2 fingers inside the pipe. Again, I'm going to just make sure that I'm scrubbing off any dirt, any of that lettering that might obscure it. I'm dripping down onto the cardboard already, which is good. Nice and clean all the way around. And that's it for that. So I have a rag here. I'm just going to set it on my rag. Now I have to clean the inside of the fitting as well. So as I said, right now I'm not doing the bottom, so I'm going to just leave that. But I am going to do this and this part of the T. So where the overflow is coming in and where the drain is coming in. And again, just going to give it a quick little run around. There wasn't really anything in there that was worrying me too much. Shake out some of the excess. Nice and clean. All right, so as you can see, purple everywhere. Then, what I want to do, take my glue. The glue is clear. I'm going to get off a lot of the blobs and the excess, because as I said, I don't want to obstruct the plunger when it comes in. So I want to make sure that I am getting the absolute proper amount of glue I need, but not too much extra. So I will take this, I'm going to run that glue around there, not a lot of extra there, and I am going to give it a quick little in there as well. Oops, wrong one. Ooh, almost did the wrong one. I want to make sure that I'm putting this where it needs to go. So right there like that. So this glue in there is going to be setting up quickly, so I want to get to that. But I push and I give it a twist, and I'm going to put all my letters down the bottom nice and straight. It's just one more thing to make it look, and I'm going to keep it from going up into the fitting like that, and I'm going to hold it for just a second, because sometimes when you push those up in there, the back pressure can actually start pushing that fitting out. You've got about 30 to 40 seconds roughly before this isn't going to move again, so you want to make sure that you go quick. So that's okay there. So before this glue in here starts to set up, I'm going to do the same thing for my overflow. There's no lettering here to get rid of, so I'm just going to give it a quick little run around, make it nice and neat, shake off the excess. I've already cleaned my fitting. Get the glue, run that there. I've already got glue in my fitting. So I'm just going to, again, make it so the gravity pushes all that excess down. Give it a little quarter turn. Hold it. Looks good. There's nothing obstructing anything in there. All right, and then I'm going to take my rag, because you always want to make it look nice. I'm going to get any of that excess off the edge there. Right there, and right there. So, little run over. It's a lot easier to do when you're just doing this and not explaining everything as well, but there we go. I'm just going to make absolute sure there's nothing in there that could obscure our plunger, which there does not appear to be. Nope, we're good. So everything's going to fit nice. All right, and as you can see, that is solid. That's not coming off. All right, so the next two pieces are a little more difficult because you want to make absolute sure that you are at a 90-degree angle to both of these. Because if you have one going like this and one going straight, this whole thing is junk and we'll have to start over. We'll either have to cut this out and somehow put a coupling in here to straighten that piece out, but if this ends up being crooked, we're pretty much done and we're going to have to start over. There's no way I'm going to be able to make any sort of correction in a piece this small. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to how your pieces are going. And you can take a right angle a lot of times just making, I hate to say by eyeing it, but you know, you can look straight down the piece and just make sure that you are going to be nice and straight. So I'm lining up by eye. There's a very small faint seam here that you can't see just from manufacturing the piece, and there's another one right here, so I am lining those up just looking down it. But that's not glued yet. Give a quick clean. As I said, it can get messy, and not doing it over my piece. Give it a quick little zap in there. That piece is already clean. Okay. Right there. There. All right, so here we go. Got about 30-40 seconds. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to give it a twist. It's still malleable. It's looking good there. It's already getting a little stiff. And there we go. So there we go. Right angled. All right, now we have to get our overflow on there. So get my cleaner out again. It's making a mess. These newer cans are a little harder because it's so close to the top. Okay, so a little bit right, oops, a little bit right in there. So that's not what I wanted to do, but thankfully I got it before it stained too bad. This is all going to be in a wall, but again, you want to not look like a hack. This is kind of a hack moment here. There we go. I'm rushing a little bit. As you can imagine, it's difficult to be trying to do all the videoing and get the job done at the same time. I'm falling pretty behind on my timeline for where I wanted to have this job done, so some of these videos might end up being a little more rushed. But I'll do my best to still keep them entertaining and whatnot. There we go there. And I want to make sure I don't set that down because I'll pick up some dirt and stuff that I have brought in on the cardboard. Alright, slide that on like so. Get it lined up nice and straight. And that is that. drain and overflow assembly for the tub. There you go. That's simple as that. So as I said, clean it, glue it, got about 30-40 seconds, and then you're done. That's it. So every joint you see me do from now on is going to go exactly like that. So if you need to, if you have questions on it, come back here and review it here. Okay? So from here, I am going to bring this back over to our tub, and I'll show you how to actually install this in the tub itself. All right, but it's going well. I'm at the back side of the tub, and this is where we're going to install our drain assembly. This will go and tuck in like so, the overflow right here. There'll be a rubber gasket on the underside here pressing up against the bottom of the tub, and then a threaded piece to come in from the top. I'm going to prep that threaded piece first. So I've taken about 5 minutes or so, because it's cold, to get our plumber's putty. It comes in a tub like this. It was a little cold, so it took a little working to get it malleable. But once I get it malleable, it acts more like clay. So I'm just going to make a little clay snake, like we would do in kindergarten. Just get it all rolled out. I had about a golf ball sized blob, which is more than enough for what we're going to need here. All right, so I've got my snake. I've got my the part that's going to thread in from the top of the tub, and I've got a lip here. So what I want to do is I want to press that into that lip, like so. Once I come all the way around, take the excess, pull it off. There is a lot of excess here. As soon as I start screwing that down, it's going to smush out. Once it smushes out, I'll take all that excess off, put it back in my tub, use it on another job. There's a tool right here. The name of it escapes me right now, but it's just a tub wrench or whatever, and that goes down inside there. The one I grabbed is a little small for this, but it's those, I don't know if you can see it. It's got kind of a star or a plus sign cross on there, and that would fit inside there and hold all that in place. But it also has a pronged side. I'm just going to be able to use that to hold it while I'm turning it down, because once it starts getting down too far, I'm not going to be able to hold it with my fingers. Once we get inside the tub, I'll show you more on that. So right now, I'm just going to try to line this up, make sure I don't drop my piece into the basement, and hope for the best. So here we go. All right, so I have the drain assembly threaded in. I've pulled the extra plumber's putty out. So I'm going to neaten this up. I can still see some around the edge here, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to neaten that up a bit. As you can see, I've got my overflow in as well. That just, the whole assembly slid right down like I had shown you before. And then it's working nice and neat, nice and free. So that's it. Our drain and our overflow are in place. As I said, I'm going to neaten this up a little bit. And then I'm going to go around, and there's a couple places where the flange of this tub doesn't quite meet up with studs, so I'm going to add a couple little spacers, nailers, into the stud area, and then I'm going to drill a 3/16 pilot hole through my tub just so this doesn't crack. I'm going to screw it in wherever I can on a stud, and this tub is in, at least for now. We'll get back to it once we get into the water lines and whatnot. So that is I'm going to also, before I completely sign off, once I'm done with all this, I'm going to cover it with the cardboard that the tub came in, just to protect it while we're still doing construction here. So that's it for now. I hope you learned a lot, and I will see you in the next video. All right, take care.